Happy 4th of July, everyone. Today's video is all about gardening. What type of garden do I need? Why should I garden? Well, the why part, let's start with that. As a gardener, I have 3 reasons why I garden. 1, it's better for the environment. As you can see around here, I've created a micro ecosystem, and it also helps me deal with stress a little better. This, for example, this actually lowers my stress. It gives me a reason to come out here, work, be in nature. Second thing is it allows me to choose better quality food, grow better quality food at a reduced cost. For example, like you see this plant right here. You don't usually see this out here. It's native to the Arizona and New Mexico. It's called a Hopi red dye emerald plant. You don't see that out here, but I was able to get a seed packet and actually managed to get one to take. And this will actually dye the water purple if I were to cut it and take it in the house. The final reason is it allows me to save money. I could buy a seed pack with tomatoes for like $2 or $3, depending, or cheaper depending on the time of year. This give the soil and water that it needs. And for example, this plant, this tomato right here, that's 40 times more nutritional load than I would get out of going to, say, like my local Walmart. Then, instead of me jumping in the car, wasting the gas, and driving down there, that allows me to save wear and tear on the car. Allows me to save some gas. Yes, sir, I have to pay for the water, which is the main expense, but that's the cost I'm willing to pay. Now, let's get started with what type of garden you have. Well, it depends on what you have available. Do you have a little yard where you have something like this? And this is 1/5 of an acre. You don't need a lot of land to be sustainable. If food sustainability is your thing, you need 1/10 of an acre minimum. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't have 1/10 of an acre, so I don't care about food security. Now, I've literally pulled out about 45 days of food out of this garden at one point. So it can be very, very profitable in that regard. But, getting back to the point. Out here in Oklahoma, we have a basic clay soil. You dig 6 feet in the ground, you have bedrock. So a lot of us do what we call a raised garden bed, which is what you're seeing right here. Which is this cedar, excuse me, there's some cedar in there. They're dog-eared pickets with landscape spikes. I think that cost me less than $6 a foot. Fairly reasonable. Another option you can do, if you're looking for wood, is 4x4s. Now, if you want to raise it up, just get an appropriate sized hole for the rebar, pound it in there, raise up the rebar. You can get a retaining wall that way. That's another option. Over here, let me get over there. You can kind of see it a little bit as I get closer. You do stone. This is a lot more expensive, but it'll last forever. And if you have autumn bits, like an old sink, for example, which is what this is, you can turn that into a planter. And for those of you that do not have a lot of land, let's say you just only have like a patio or balcony, you can do what we call planters. This is a grow bag. It allows the air to penetrate, so it needs more water, but I find the plants perform a little better. These are traditional pots, which, this is just a nursery grade. That allows you to choose your shape, size, color, so you have a little more options there. Then, if you don't want to buy wood and you want metal, you can buy these pre-made kits. And I think there's a company that will actually allow you to select different sizes in terms of modability. So metal may be the future, and again, I have the small ones because I don't mind bending over, but some people will actually raise this up 4 feet. This depends on what your creativity is. Let's talk about selection of food. Well, as you see right here, lettuce that has purple highlights. That definitely makes it fun when on the plate. Here's purple basil. Here's a regular basil. Now this stuff, you let the pollinators come in, they will self-sow. It may not take off when you have a hard winter. Let me show you a different type of tomato. Like you see this one right here. See how it's going like blue at the then it go red at the bottom. I always enjoy stuff like that because myself having a background in nutrition, you always want to eat the rainbow because different colors affects the body differently. For example, purple fruits have loads and loads of antioxidants, so that's always useful for diet, improve our health. Like here's a Noma berry, and these will actually go purple, and these have loads of antioxidants. I actually like to make a pancake syrup or even a jam out of these. Here's some blueberries you see are getting crisp by the hot sun. Like that's a real good example right there. See that blueberry just going everywhere? And the sky's the limit. Like here's some grapes. Let me climb in here and show you. Even though they're getting a little banged up, but here's some grapes that I don't have to go to the store. It's in my backyard. When they ripen up, I just come out here and harvest them. I don't leave my house. Like here's some banged up onions from the hill that we had a couple weeks ago. Or if you want to be a little more lazier, I actually bought this border right here. I'll show it to you. At a discount, season, made this a whole garden bed as a no dig, which meant I never once dug this up. And you see, like I'm actually towards my patio for the door, and you see that's the central spot. So the sky's the limit in their creativity. It's also, sorry, plane coming overhead. It's also a way for you to increase your food security because now I have food coming in. I'm guaranteed. Yes, I'm going to lose probably a third of this crop for various reasons. It happens. Don't get discouraged. Now, if you're a new timer, not a new timer, if you're first starting out, keep in mind you will have a 60% chance of failure because this is a lot of work. Oh, hey, we got a bumblebee here. Had a bumblebee. Pretty little. Didn't think they're as fast as they are. Oh, there he is. But this is why it's so hard. See all that junk in there? This is this weeds that was in the soil. This is why you have to come out there and weed every single day. The curse of the earth, as they call it. Like these sunflowers here. Here, let me take a step back. I never once planted any of these sunflowers. Now, they have benefits. But here, this is my bean patch. You see how many sunflowers are in there? This is all you see. So you see, this is why gardening is hard. It is a commitment. But if you can stay true to that commitment, you're going to find stuff that you didn't realize you're capable of doing. Here's a good example of what I'm saying. You see how this tomato here? You see how it's starting to go? And it looks beat up because that's just environmental stress. Rapid heat, rapid cooling, water, a lot of water. It happens. But those are my strawberries. So you see, I have a lot of selection out here that I don't have to worry about. But you could also go to the flip side, go, hey, I want flowers. So here's a good example of me having butterfly bushes. Because this was a hardscape. You see, this is a butterfly bush right here. So it gives a little more pizzazz. Here's another one. Let's see, like you see how that lightens it up a little. But again, as I was saying, the weed, you see that sunflower? That makes it very difficult for me to get in. But let me fight to show you some peppers without breaking anything. Like here's a good example. Like here's some peppers here. As soon as I get my camera adjusted. There we go. There's some peppers there. Here's a better example. And if you don't like, let's say you want a red pepper, all you do is just let these ripen up. There's some peppers right there. You see how I don't have to leave my yard or my house. I just come out here, harvest when I want, when it's ready. Now, you do have a bit of a delay, and I'll talk about that when I do my seed starting. Here's another example. You see a little pepper there. I will talk about that more when I do my seed starting here in probably about a week to 2 weeks. This is getting time for me to do my fall crop. There will be things like lettuce, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, pumpkins. You can do a winter squash if you so desired. So hopefully this gives you some more knowledge to be equipped. But I would say the hardest thing is keeping up with the weeds. Which you can get around that with mulching. You see how even the tomatoes are starting to go crazy? Because I don't like pruning tomatoes. And this entire garden from there to there is only 30 feet. You see how much I can get in here, especially if I use a different technique, which I will discuss more in another video when I'm actually laying the seeds. My seed starts back in here for the winter, for the fall and winter. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video and I've given you a better equipment or some better knowledge. So if you're wanting to go into this field to save some money, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've made it. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.